If you're getting married and I ask you, hey, what red flags do they have? And you look at me and you say, none. Do not get married because you have like no idea what you're signing up for.
80% of guys are just waiting for a big open door. My favorite way to do it is send a birdie, aka a wing woman.
I'd still want to know, like, why'd you go on that show?
So was that a red flag or did you welcome that?
So he broke up with me.
Wow.
The church has never been as single as it is today. I think we're pickier than ever before. Culturally, like marriage has just been less appealing than it ever has been before.
Can the girl make the first move, or do guys like the ability to pursue, and is that what's most important?
Right now, 2025, what are y'all seeing that can maybe help people that are going, what's the trends right now?
On our first in-person date, we went to In-N-Out, and the way he ate his burger and licked his fingers, like, you guys, I just had the
JJ.
itch.
My boy was just hungry. He hadn't eaten all day.
That is so out of context. There's not a nice way to eat an
They
In-N-Out
forgot
burger.
napkins, right?
Yeah, of course.
No,
Yeah.
no, they did not.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Stay True Podcast. I'm your host, Madison Pruitt-Trout. Hosting with me today, I have my handsome husband.
It's really good to be here.
Yep. Really
Yes.
good. And we have
Oh, man.
some of our close friends.
Oh, man.
In the podcast studio.
Who's here?
Kait and JJ Tomlin.
Hey,
Let's
guys.
go.
This is
On the
so
Stay
cool.
True Podcast.
Welcome.
Welcome.
Thanks for
Yes.
having us.
I
Okay,
can't believe
we're-
it took us this long.
I know. It was a
know.
long
It took
time
us a long
coming.
time.
Yeah.
It did.
But we also just discovered they haven't asked us to be on theirs.
Well, no, I think we got sick.
Oh, is
Remember
that
that way back when?
Yes.
Oh, this
We
is
got-
I
awkward.
do.
This is, yeah, we got
Oh,
sick.
wait, no,
And I think they were supposed
So
to
we were playing
follow
hard
up.
to get.
Yeah.
But we,
And
have,
now
we
we
wanted
finally-
you on ours
yeah,
first, and
Okay,
now
that's
no,
good
It's
cover.
time.
Yeah.
I like
This
sitting
is the
across from
test.
you.
Me
This
too.
podcast
Yeah,
on
feels
how
right.
it goes is
Yeah.
a test
We'll
on
see.
if we're going to do
if
anymore.
it's a good.
We'll see if
Yeah.
it's a good fit.
Well, Kait and JJ are amazing. Clearly,
Yes.
some of our close friends, but they also have their own podcast, like we're talking about, Heart of Dating.
Yeah.
And if you are single dating, I very much encourage you to go and listen to this podcast because that's what we're actually going to be talking about today. But you guys, you are dating coaches, relationship coaches. How
Yeah,
would you
dating
describe it?
coaches. I would say dating coaches, yeah.
And you've helped so many people just steward singleness and dating. And I'm just so thankful because relationships are hard. And
Not
there's a
easy.
lot of things you got to look out for in today, even in the Christian space,
Yes.
I would say
for
especially.
sure.
especially in the Christian space.
I agree.
Yeah, I agree.
So
Yeah,
we're
we
going to
love
go
it.
there today.
We're
on the
going to go
podcast.
all the things.
all the things.
Good.
But they just told us right before we press record that one of the new things that they have going on is a dating quiz,
Dating personality quiz.
dating personality quiz. And Grant and I are going to take it.
Yes. So explain it before we take
Because
it.
I'm
Explain
nervous.
it to us.
It might tell us that we're not compatible.
It's like, get out.
It probably will, honestly.
Abort.
Probably
From what
will.
we've
Only
heard.
if you're really
yeah.
honest. Otherwise, you guys will get the healthiest types and I'll be
No,
like,
we're
are
going to
you
be super
serious?
honest.
Yeah, no,
But,
we will
but
be the
what is
most
this for
honest.
someone that
Yeah, so basically, I wanted to come up with this tool that helps people understand themselves a little bit better when it comes to dating and maybe helps them understand the person they're dating. So if you get really into it, right, you can maybe, not on the first date or second date, you don't want to be like that person on a second date being like, hey, can you take this dating personality quiz
Really
so I
need
can
to know.
find out?
Kate did that to me, you know,
No,
for
I did
attachment
not.
style. Yeah, it was like the third date.
I did
yeah.
not.
Yeah, so it's okay.
What?
So she's speaking from
Imagine.
experience. Yeah.
What's your trauma?
From experience.
Yeah, I'm like, are
don't
you
do that.
avoidant?
Yeah.
Which she is.
But you have
know.
blue hair, right?
Yeah, I have blue hair, platinum hair, it went back and
Okay,
forth.
hey,
yeah, yeah.
hey, then we'll take the test.
Weren't
All
you
bets are
wearing
off.
like an animal shirt or something?
Well, he wears those all the time.
Yeah,
so
Kate-
it's like,
That's
when
not
does
the
he
past.
not wear
Yeah,
those?
that
That's the
one
past, that's the
never.
present.
She like hid them for a little while, and I found them.
Really?
Yeah, she had like lock
Your
and
animal
key.
shirts?
Yeah,
I did not,
We
but
put 'em
you
in the-
thought I did.
Yeah.
You just
In the safe?
misplaced
yeah, I
them.
found them though. It's
He
all, it's all
misplaced
good.
them. He was
And
like,
I
babe, they
bought
were
some new
buried
ones
under
too.
the
They
It's
ground.
somehow
good.
got in the attic. I don't know who put them.
Yeah, I know.
How did this get
Eleanor was
there?
like, it was me.
I kid you not, they went missing though, and I found them.
Only
and I
the
bought some new
squirrel one,
ones.
which I
Yeah.
actually like the squirrel one.
I know, me too. But that point aside, the tool is also really helpful because I feel like not all dating advice is pertinent or relevant for each individual. So
Yes.
it's really helpful to just kind of tailor specific advice for each kind of maybe personality type,
Yeah.
depending on how how you are as a person. The best advice applies to all people, but sometimes you got to get a little granular because
So, for example,
different,
not to
yeah.
cut you off, but the advice of like, don't settle, which we hear a lot of people say,
Yeah.
it's really good advice. But for the wrong personality type, it's bad for them to hear. So, for example, there's 6 different types. There's the wanderer, okay? And that is a type that is very bouncy. They want to have fun. They are like, they're great at dating, but they also are dating a ton and never committing, right? So for them, the don't settle is perfect because they're like, great, yeah, I'm never going to commit. I'm just going to keep having this super high list and never actually see that, yeah, sometimes dating takes some challenge. Sometimes it takes some work. Sometimes it takes high emotions from the female I'm dating and I have to deal with those instead of being like, bye, you know? So don't settle for that person.
I'm like, females,
What you know about that?
Why did Grant and I look at
I
each
don't
other?
know.
right there?
Why did we
Yeah.
just connect so deeply on that moment?
They both were like, yeah, we had to go through that.
No. We
Not at all.
did
We
the
our
most-
relationship. What do you mean? Our relationship was perfect. We never struggled
I
at all.
know.
You
You
guys
guys
are
are like
very low maintenance.
everything.
So
Not.
what are
at
the
all.
6 types?
Yes.
Just so we can guess ours before we are one.
Oh,
Okay,
yeah.
yeah,
good
Let's do that.
idea.
Let's do that.
Okay, the first type is the lone wolf. So that is, I mean, it's kind of self-explanatory, right? It's Mr. Miss Independent. They are the person that definitely fears commitment, but they fear commitment because they're hyper individual. They're just worried that somebody's really going to need them and they are afraid of being needed. And so they will eventually commit, but probably over a very long time. They're like a stone wall at first, you know, really guarding people. Okay, the second type, this is a big one. Hopeless romantic. Ever heard of that?
We
Ever?
love
He
it.
already knows. He already knows.
Tell me more about
Exactly,
me.
Greg, exactly.
She said I was a bad dater on our last podcast. I'm just gonna say.
She
said
I
you were
said
good
when I
in
married him,
dating.
I thought he was a hopeless romantic.
Yeah.
I was like, what?
like,
I
wait.
poured
He's
my
like,
heart
what?
into
I'm
these
like,
dates.
Wait, so you were bad at dating?
No, he
Well-
was really good. He wooed me when we were dating.
What happened in marriage? Is
he
that the question?
sold you.
No. Date night every week. You want me to go crazy?
No.
That's so
Dude,
much
we have the
pressure.
same-
Wait, why are
There's
we
only
like
so much-
in the same relationship?
There's only so much
I don't know
putt-putt
what's
in
happening
movies
here.
I
and
know.
it's like, you want to go to dinner again?
When
problem
was it?
is-
Not true.
We set the bar so high.
In
Yeah.
dating, you set it high. It's
Right.
Like,
We
He
had like the
did
best
too.
date ever.
Those are my
I
best.
thought he was
dating.
also hopeless romantic,
know.
like me.
we use our
okay?
best bullets. And then we're out.
He's like, I got it.
I'm all out.
Got nothing to do.
It's like
go-
he
let's
uses
go
them all
work
at the
out.
beginning, and then anyway.
Anyways.
So hopeless romantic.
Gosh.
They
So-
hyper commit. They love love. They're the person wearing the rose-colored glasses. So every single flag looks just like a flag. No red flags exist,
Yeah.
right?
Wow.
And they're the person that does need the information of don't settle. Like
Yeah.
they need
Yeah.
that advice. So we know hopeless romantics. The next type is the overthinker. Okay. Overthinker, they are very much back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, really analyzing everything. Now, hopeless romantics can overthink a lot as well, but the overthinker, they're actually really critical. So the hopeless romantic is a little less critical. Okay. They're like, oh, I'm just like in love with this person and I can't see any bad things about them. The overthinker is going to be pretty critical. When they see a red flag, they're going to be like, wait. And they're going to overthink it, and maybe run away. So, but they're overanalyzing everything out here. We got a lot of overthinkers out there. Next one is a safety seeker. This is a person who just wants to be in a relationship and just doesn't want it to leave. You know, so they will they will settle
Yeah.
for somebody that's okay. And then they just are comfortable. And they're like, even though they know they could probably do better, I don't want to start over again. I don't want to go through that. I don't want to have to meet the parents again, then meet my parents. And this is good enough because they underneath the surface don't really believe maybe that they could get something better.
Wow.
The next type, do you want to explain this one, JJ?
Yeah, I
The
definitely.
wanderer?
Is this
Oh, okay, yeah.
is this who
Is
you?
there- is it
That's why.
because that's who you
Yeah,
are?
a little tip.
So who are you, brother?
I'm the wanderer,
Okay, good to meet you, bro.
which is basically the worst one of all.
Oh, no.
Because it's just hard to build healthy relationship. You guys have these friends. I think the Enneagram 7 would probably be like the most similar.
Yep.
It's the Tigger energy, bouncing in and out. Dating is a lot of fun. And then right at that like commitment mark where you got to go into a
They
relationship.
leave you on red.
Dang.
Yeah, they
red.
do
Dang,
leave you
JJ.
on red. And I did, man. I kid you
Yeah.
not. Like, for years, I was a good dater, and I was terrible at relationship. I was so scared to commit. I was so scared of making the wrong decision. So that's a big fear for the wanderer. They are so scared of making the wrong decision and tying themselves down, just in case something better comes along right around the corner. That's called FOBO. So fear of a better option.
Wow.
That's
it. Yeah.
I
Never
have
heard that.
never heard
No,
that.
it's a great,
It
great
was
term.
the first term before FOMO from the Harvard scientists who created FOMO.
Yeah.
FOBO was actually the original
Phobo.
fear of better option.
fear of a better option.
Yeah.
So it's
Wow.
like
Wow.
your yes now. We do this when we hang out with people. So, Grant, do you want to hang out Friday night? And you're like,
Would love to.
yeah. And this
Is this my official ask? Because
He
And
has
this-
no phone.
I've
Yeah.
been waiting on it for so long.
and this scenario, you're like, yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
You're like, I don't want to say yes because if I do, it's going to lock me down in case a better yes comes around
Yeah.
the corner and it's ascending and dating. I don't want to say yes and commit to this girl because a better one might be just
That's
around
so
the
real
corner.
for so many people.
And that's
See,
probably
I
the number one
might-
cancer
I might have
of,
done
yeah, that
Yeah.
I'm killing that is probably one of the number one cancers killing healthy relationships
Yeah.
For sure.
and dating.
Totally.
So
For
there's
sure.
a lot of wanderers. It's the least identified one in our quiz too because the wanderer
They don't
doesn't
want to take the
it.
quiz. They're like, I don't need help. I'm loving my dating life,
Wow.
right?
Yeah.
So they are the least
So they're like
likely
out
at
there
the
having
moment
fun,
taking
having a
the
great
quiz.
time, and they don't want you to ruin it.
Yeah.
And that was me for sure. So wanderers, that's what I am. They have a really hard time committing.
Last type is
yeah.
intentional romantic. This is the quote, walking green flag. This is the healthiest, but they still have some downfalls. While they're pretty healthy, they can have issues with pride. So they might think like, they might hold somebody to such a high standard that it's almost too impossible to meet because they're pretty healthy that they're like, yeah, this is not going to cut it. Your life, your healing, all this has to look very much like mine in order to accept you into my life. So they are, quote, the healthiest, but they do really struggle with pride.
But they have that thing that, kicked Satan out of heaven. So
Amen.
Just one little.
I'm like, that
Amen.
actually might
lot of
would
green
have
flags,
been
one
me.
little-
Amen. Exactly. All right. So what's your guys' guess on what you guys are, and then we'll make you take it.
Okay, hopeless romantic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or I could see wanderer a little bit in me.
Really? I was
Yeah.
thinking hopeless romantic and maybe overthinker.
For me,
Yeah.
I could see it.
For those.
Okay.
can see
And
it.
what do you think Maddie is?
What was
Be
the
ca-
last one?
be
that-
careful,
That,
yeah.
that had a little bit of
Be
like,
careful.
Be really careful.
yeah. She's the one that you said was the healthiest.
Yes.
It was
Yes,
the
she's
intentional
healthiest.
romantic
Yes.
with just a dab
Good
of
man.
sometimes pride.
Self-righteousness.
Okay,
I cannot. Okay,
I
so
say
wait,
we take the
should,
test.
Should we take it?
Yeah.
let's take this. We got to be brutally honest.
Whatever it lands on, the next page is what you are.
All right, this is exciting. Are you there?
No, I'm so far back.
Wow. Shock.
Actually,
It is?
Well, I don't know. I
Oh,
mean,
might be-
I think
Yeah,
I'm
I
pretty
don't know.
great,
I
but
think I'm
let's
like
go.
halfway.
Yeah. All right. What's your guess for Grant? Because you guys knew each other.
We only met a few times
we
before.
like cross paths.
I feel like with a 4, you're hopeless romantic, but you could also be intentional. But that's a big hopeless romantic energy is Enneagram 4.
Yeah, yeah.
What's your romantic energy?
Just emotional.
And what's Maddie as their dating coach?
I feel like she could have been intentional. I don't think you're a wanderer though.
Wait, so it surprised you? Oh, no, that's exactly what I thought mine was.
Wow.
Okay. Are you guys ready?
Okay,
Okay,
you guess mine.
mine is exactly what I thought it was going to be. Is
In-
yours?
The
What you thought it-
intentional romantic?
Yes.
That's mine.
Wow.
Yeah.
We're both walking green flags.
Yeah.
Let's go.
I'm actually surprised because I answered real honest.
Yeah, I
That's
tried to be
so
as honest
good.
as I could
I know.
too.
Yeah. I think you're our first one ever. First
Yeah,
couple.
we're both
Really?
the people are the intentional
the
romantic.
same one.
Yeah, no, seriously.
Yeah, I haven't met
Wow.
a couple yet.
Does that mean we
but-
are
but we
compatible
weren't-
or not compatible?
Whatever you think that means for our dating life, we weren't that perfectly.
No, we
no,
were not.
it
Our
doesn't
dating life
mean
was.
there's no
Yeah,
issues
yeah.
for sure.
I mean,
We
our-
had lots
were-
of red flags in our or at least
The first few
yellow.
months were
A lot of
so
yellow
hopeless
flags.
romantic.
That's why
Oh,
even
yeah.
though the
It's the
intentional is like the
best.
quote healthiest, like it, I think that's where I really want people to know there's still issues.
There can
there.
be-
like there's still a work in
Totally.
progress.
Yes.
Well, I would say
Yes.
you were talking about pride. I would say that was definitely our self-righteousness on both ends. Yes. And probably more so you.
What?
Yeah. Do you remember?
I do.
Yeah.
This is great.
I just
We'd
wanna know-
love to hear more.
This moment
Hey,
right here. What's
I
is
wanted
great.
to know about The Bachelor.
Okay.
Just explain it to me.
Oh, yeah, like
Yeah.
I'm in
yeah.
a cabin in Branson, Missouri. Just help me out with The
So
Bachelor.
he thought he was holier.
No, I did not. I just thought
like,
What
Why
were you
would you
doing in
do that?
Branson?
I was working at Kanakuk.
Oh, fun.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah.
you're working with the
So-
kids,
so I'm
being
lonely,
a
I'm in
counselor.
this
She's
cabin,
on reality TV.
And she's got like the pink Puma jumpsuit on from
Yeah.
The Bachelor. And I'm just like, hey, I'm all for it. Help me understand your
I
heart.
liked fashion. What can I say?
So you
So-
were like a little hunting for like what's going on here.
Probably a little bit more like this is the more Christian route.
Oh.
Which was pride.
Yes.
But I still want to know, like, why'd you go on that show?
Yeah.
You know?
So was that a
Yes.
red flag or did you welcome that?
So he broke up with me.
Well,
Wow, I didn't know
I can't
this,
believe. Are we
guys.
rolling right now? We better save all of this.
Okay, this is
So
great.
he dumped me because, he
Hey,
thought I.
took a break. Sounds much more what I remember.
This
Was that
sounds-
what you wanted?
This
You
sounds
wanted
like
to take
the
a break.
fight on
I needed a
Friends
breather.
when
This
he's
is
like,
so
we were on a
good.
break.
Okay,
But not the same situation.
guys.
So, yeah, you break up with me because you're like, is she really about it or not? You
3
know,
months
she loves
of
God,
dating,
but
right?
we were
Weeks.
probably
3 weeks.
3 weeks in.
Yeah.
But I knew he was my husband. God had already spoken to me.
Wow.
So I wasn't too worried, but I was hurt a little. It stung. you
Yeah.
know? I don't think at that point I'd been
Pride.
dumped.
What did it hurt?
My
What did
pride
it hurt?
was
Your
hurt.
pride?
pride.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, my heart
So,
was
but
fine. My
you broke
pride
up with her. Like, did you consider what was going on a red flag? Is that
I think it was fear. I think it was fear. And
And
so
pride.
part of it was a fear of commitment. It was like,
Yeah, that
what if there's, Lord, is this? And I just pull back.
Yeah.
Real quick story. I break up with her the day I'm supposed to meet her family
Oh,
that
wow.
has flown into Dallas.
Oh, wow.
I am hosting. I'm hosting.
This is getting more
Redeeming
interesting.
Redeeming Love.
The film.
Yes, I remember.
I'm hosting like the film at a movie theater.
Like,
He's
like,
supposed to be
like
coming to it.
microphone before the movie. She's leading this
Oh,
room.
wow. And you're like, oh, so
I said-
you're not doing anything serious that day. You don't have
there's
to be
nothing going
on
So
that
I'm
day
like-
at all.
Perfect
And
timing.
this is when he-
Grant? Goodness gracious,
I know.
man.
You guys,
What
but
a
I
day.
know, redeeming love. Him watching this movie, this is gonna change everything,
Yes,
right?
yes, of course.
So I invited him anyways, even though he
She
just
says, I
broke
still
up
want
with
you to
me.
come. I have to come at this point.
So you break up with her.
We're done.
Yeah.
We're done.
Oh, sorry.
Break.
Take a
We
break.
break.
Big difference.
She says, I still want you to come. Now, I'm not knowing at all as I walk up to North Park Mall in Dallas, Texas, if her family knows anything.
They know everything.
They
They-
So
They
definitely
know
it's so
every word that
awkward.
was spoken.
So
How awkward
I'm meeting
was
mom for the
this?
first time with the biggest like hi, and I'm not knowing, do you know we're broken up?
Do you know what I just said to her hours
Yes.
ago?
Yeah,
How
But she did
crazy is
know?
that?
she knew. Oh yeah, she knew.
So
But she
Everyone's
also
going,
knew
Tanya
that
knew.
I felt he was my husband. So it was
Yeah.
a weird, tension moment
So
of like you just broke up with
Dude,
my daughter.
that's so
all
awkward.
that to say, I'm meeting all her best friends.
Yeah.
I've heard so much about you. I'm like, hey, good to
Yeah.
meet you.
Dude.
Jenny Allen, we know Jenny
Yeah.
Allen walks up. How are you and Maddie? I get just vulnerable moment with her. I'm like, we're broken up. And she's like, what? Pulls me in the like bathroom almost.
No.
And she's just like, you're coming over tonight with me and Zach. And then throws me out. And I'm sitting
need
in
to talk to
I'm
you.
Yeah,
sitting
she
in
goes-
redeeming love next to her mom and sister as this man recklessly pursues his woman.
Yes.
And I was like, who am I?
Unconditional love.
I'm
Bro.
the opposite of this man.
That is
I threw her away
what
on a
movie.
judgment.
Guys,
on
by
my-
that night at 2 a.m., we're holding hands. I don't even know if we ever talked about getting back
Sounds-
together.
It sounds
We're
so
back
crazy.
together forever.
We were at a redeeming love like reception after, and it went on till literally like midnight.
So late.
And we
Did
just
the-
like stayed in the car talking, like holding hands, and we were like, "Well, I guess we're back together."
Did the movie like
I don't know if it was the move. I don't know what it was.
Oh, yeah, it did
Jenny
something
might
to
have
your
just
heart.
scared the.
you just yeah
She struck the fear of God.
I'm like, I love her. We're back.
Did you still have
terrified.
to meet with her after that?
The next day I went to her.
Oh, you did?
And
Yeah.
she just helped me work through some of my own probably self-righteous pride. That was like, hey,
good.
I know her heart. So
Yeah.
what are the questions you have?
Her and Zach. Zach called you out on your cross.
Zach helped me a lot.
Yeah.
the commitment thing.
Yeah.
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 That's
Yeah.
a big one. I mean, it's like sometimes it doesn't really matter who you're talking to or dating, especially in guys. It can be so scary to go from dating to relationship. Like it feels like it's not like stepping into like the shallow end and a step. It feels like you're like cliff jumping, you
Yeah.
know?
Especially as a Christian guy, because you're like, I know this means like we're pursuing marriage.
Right. And that's unfortunate though. Like in the sense of I wish it was a little bit less pressure from the first date
Yeah.
to 90 days to getting into a relationship. We can be intentional and not have this be like this crazy, super high stake
Right.
That's good.
pressure cooker. And the red flags is a big part of that too.
Yeah.
Not to like come back to the subject, but a lot of times what we see is a ton of confusion on what red flags are versus deal breakers. So how do you handle a red flag versus a deal breaker, and what's the difference? Because we sometimes as Christians we expect this amazing, unrealistic, perfect
sure.
thing, and the first sign of a red flag, we're out.
Okay, guys, I'm taking a short break from this podcast to tell you about some exciting news. My new book, Dare to Be True, Stay True. Dare to be True. It just makes sense. When God laid this podcast on my heart, I actually had already started working on my next book, Dare to be True. And the whole point of this podcast and the whole point of this book is we were all designed and made for truth. And everyone in this world is searching for it. Yet so many of us are searching for the right things in all of the wrong places. And this book is all about tackling the lies that often entangle us and bind us and finding the truth that sets us free. And so in this book, we're going to be tackling all the things from sin and shame and the lies around eternity and the lies around your identity and the lies around your purpose and how to find the truth and live free. Because the reality is, it says in Proverbs 14:12 that there is a way that appears to be right, but in the end, it leads to death. There is a way that the world preaches that we should go, that we should follow, that we should conform to, that we should look like, and in the end, it leads to death. Yet, what God's word says is Jesus says in John 14:6, I am the way, the truth, and the life. So he is saying the truth you are looking for can only be found in me. I am the truth. And I'm not only the truth, I am the truth that leads to life and life abundantly. And then it says in John 8:32, when you know the truth, it's the truth that will set you free. And so if you have ever felt bound by lies, if you have ever questioned your worth, your confidence, your purpose, if you have ever wondered how you can break free from feeling weighed down, exhausted, overwhelmed, or even insecure about who you truly are and what your purpose is on this earth, this book is for you. I have often said, I just want to be free. I have looked at my husband many a times and said, I just want to be free. I'm tired of feeling weighed down. I'm tired of feeling not enough. I'm tired of being on this endless cycle of striving and performing and never feeling like I can reach what I need to reach and be who I need to be. And when I go back to the truth, when I go back to who God is and who God says I am, that is when I experience true freedom. And so this book is for you, and I am so excited, True Crew, for you to go and get your copy of Dare to be True. You can pre-order it now. I will be including the link in this episode, and so you can go and pre-order it. It will be coming out this fall. I'm so excited, and I can't wait. We're going to be doing some really fun series all about some of the content in this book, but you're going to want to get your hands on it because there's some really fun special pieces in this book that you can't get in this podcast. So you guys can go and pre-order Dare to be True now if you want to break free from what is breaking you.
Well, I think it would be helpful too to hear y'all's story just as we set the scene before we jump into a lot of fun relationship questions that we have on dating and red flags. But I'd love to hear how'd you woo our Kait over here?
It's more like how I convinced Kait to say yes.
Yeah.
Oh man, it was an operation. It was an operation for sure. I had like the red yarn and everything, like the bullet on the wall. No, we met on Zoom in the middle of COVID. So
Did you really?
Oh yeah.
And just remind me who set y'all up. What was that?
So it wasn't a setup in the sense of, it's so funny. We were at a Galentine's conference on Zoom. Remember during COVID, they had all the online conferences.
Yeah.
I had friends who ran a college girls ministry called Delight Ministries.
Yeah.
And they were having their Galentine's conference. So all the single
JJ
girls.
said, let me get on that.
I'm like, in. Perfect. They invite me on as a bachelor to do a blind date, me and a couple other bachelors as their icebreaker. And we actually took this from them because it's such a fun way to start conferences and events. We do live blind dates. So I was on one. I was a bachelor doing a live blind date. I met Kait on the pre-call. And from the second, I kid you not, from the second I saw her little 4x6 pixels, I was like, ooh la la. I was blown away.
Had you known of her beforehand?
No, never heard of her.
Okay, first time, all of it.
Yeah, first time. And so we met on the pre-call. I was definitely interested. And I can't really say the same about her. I go on a live blind date. She doesn't watch a single second of it because I'm not really her type, not really her thing. I just basically
I was focused on my talk. I was about to talk, so I was like, I'm not watching these.
I did not
things,
exist, And so she watches me or doesn't watch me go. I watch her talk because they invited the guys to stay on after. And I was like interested in her, so like I guess I'll stay. You know, all the other guys pieced out. So I took off my camera, like changed my name to Emily, so I'm not like the one guy, you know, with like 500 girls really sitting there.
He's confessing right now.
Yeah,
on the
no,
I mean,
podcast.
Emily, why
seriously.
Emily? Or
Yeah,
just,
I don't know.
just great name.
Yeah,
Yeah.
very like generic, you know.
Yeah.
So I watch her, and I kid you not, I was interested in her. I don't know how you operated. If I saw a beautiful woman, I hope that like their faith and character was there, behind the scenes. But I would not ask them out off looks alone. I really wanted to have an idea of where their faith was before I even bothered to ask them out. So once I stayed on and did my homework, she actually gave a really light, encouraging talk on like self-hatred, pain and abuse.
Wow.
It was super deep, super raw.
Yeah.
And I kid you not, I was blown away by just what she had gone through, and more importantly, everything in Christ that she had become today.
So
Like
cool.
all the healing
Yeah.
that she had gone through. I kid you not, I just had so much respect. That's really what sold me on her up front. I was like, this is a woman who is worth pursuing no matter what. So I reached out to my friends. They put in a good word for me. And of course, when they sent over my Instagram and Kait stalks me, I'll let you take over.
Oh, guys, I was like, first of all, they tell him, they were like, you should probably change some of your photos or like take some of them down. And he was like, what did you say? You were like, no, if she doesn't like that, she won't like me. And so I go to his Instagram and stalk, acceptably, because I didn't know who he was. And it was every photo was a different thing. It was different hairstyle, lots of dogs. Like he was like Jack Sparrow in one photo. Another photo was like a big bushy mustache, dyed jet black. There
My
was
power
like
sash.
a photo with him, like a big bushy beard, like every different hairstyle. Of course, the current hairstyle, blue with a platinum underneath. I was like, who is this guy? Like, this is so weird. But what I did like about it was I could tell he didn't care what people thought. And that did draw me in because I have struggled in my life, just performance and caring what people think. And so I liked and ultimately did kind of want to be with somebody who could help bring me out of that, or that balanced me in that way. And so that's what his profile screamed to me. So I was like, okay, I'll give him a date. Also, we should mention there's a 6-year age gap too. So that also wasn't going for him very well because
You can't tell, but she's older than me.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
you can't tell, to
you
clarify.
can't tell.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you, honey.
Yeah.
But I had never dated a guy that young before. I was just like, no, guys in their mid-20s, like guys don't even mature fully till what, 28 or something? I don't remember.
I don't
It
know.
takes us quick.
We're still
It
trying to-
really does. Takes
Yeah,
a
don't
minute.
ask
So
Grant and
I
I.
was
We're
like-
still
It's
We're
up for
still in
20s.
that.
we're still on the come up.
I don't think I'm fully.
Yeah.
So.
But one thing I will say in that season that I would preach to a lot of the different dating personality types on that quiz is to date the unexpected. Because I think today we're so locked in on a very specific type.
Yeah.
We want them to look a certain way. We want them to read their Bible a certain way. We want them to, have the same kind of healing we have or, go to therapy as much as we go to therapy. And I just was in the season of date the unexpected. And so age gap, he was a different location than me, lived in Seattle and I was in LA at the time. So there were so many things, plus the blue hair, the black earring, the weird style. Which was, we did clean him up a little bit. You look great, babe.
You look so good today.
Thank you.
I said it's the best I've seen you look.
Yeah, he was like shocked when I walked up. He was like,
No,
dude,
not
you actually
shocked.
like
No.
look presentable.
I
was like,
know you've been working out a lot.
Yeah.
And I want you to know I see it.
Thank you, bro.
I
I'm
see
down
you.
down 30.
Bromance here.
I see
I
you.
know.
love this.
Hey, dad
Like,
bod. I'm down.
You better
down-
fight it.
Down 35 pounds.
You bet. Come on
Yeah,
now.
let's
Wow,
go.
babe.
Goodness
But what I
gracious.
loved about that is his character just shined. Like through all the weeks of getting to know him, he was definitely the unexpected because I really didn't think I would be interested. But I would say go on first dates, even if you think you're not going to be interested, make sure you don't go in with the mentality that this date is going to go nowhere. Like I'm probably not going to like this person because then you're going to be looking for the things that gives you an out, right? So always approach every date with curiosity. Approach it with, oh, I'm just here to meet another amazing man or woman of God. And I want to just genuinely get to know this person and just honor the God image in them. Like that's how I think we all should be dating,
Wow.
especially in the beginning when we shouldn't put so much pressure on it, but instead we're going into it with like our massive checklist and judging people left and right.
Totally.
Like, oh, you said this. Okay, no, that's not gonna work, right? And I'm like, well, even if in the first 10 minutes, 15, 20 minutes of a date, you find out that this is probably not gonna be your person, like still try to see this as an opportunity that it's not wasted, but an amazing opportunity to just get to know someone who's totally different than you. And that's what I think we've lost in dating, is just appreciating the art of getting to know someone completely different from us.
Totally.
That's really cool.
That's so good.
That's amazing. So you guys go on the first date
Yeah.
Yeah.
and it went well.
FaceTime dates in the beginning.
Yes.
Yeah, I kid you not, like we talked about in the beginning, I think when a man sees a woman worth pursuing that they're really ignited for, they go all out. So I went as all out as I could,
You did.
and first date, she walked away and I think she was pretty surprised. No, I kid you not, like she was very surprised.
In a good way.
In a
the
good way.
best way, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, and then we went on another FaceTime date. And what's funny was the first 3 months of getting to know each other, I was so excited and pumped. I had to tell my heart, hey, take this one date at a time. God's got this. And what's funny is she was preaching the same thing to herself. Hey, take this one day at a time and God's got this, because she wasn't as excited. Like her heart had to really come around to something healthy that she really appreciated and enjoyed. And so it was the same truth, just in different ways. And then she fell in love with me, and I moved down to Orange
could you
County.
not?
I know. No. But it was a really, really fun dating experience. We did long distance. I moved down to Orange County. I had a new job lined up there anyway. So like God really aligned my journey to even come down to Southern California and pursue her. And then a year later we were engaged. So
Wow.
yeah, man.
That's
So great.
incredible.
Yeah.
And I love that story too, because I feel like you have those stories where you hear, it's not necessarily all sparks and perfect and amazing
Yes.
right at the beginning, because I think we can often be like, if that's not there, I'm not interested.
Right.
Exactly.
Like this is not my person. But you guys are saying like, take the chance, go on the dates, like hear them
Yes.
out, listen and ask God. And yeah, I think that's so important, because we can be so quick to judge.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
And so quick to just cut off and be like, no, I'm not even gonna go there.
I think sometimes a slow burn is better. Like, not that it can't work with like a big spark at the
Yeah.
beginning and that big flame, but I think sometimes for a lot of those dating personality types, like we were talking about earlier, a lot of times, like the hopeless romantic, they need a slow burn because they're so addicted to the spark that they're often going to overlook things, right? So, like that person really needs that slow burn. The wanderer, they need a slow burn too because they're so addicted to like that fun energy, right? And so, for some of the dating personality, it's just like it can be super healthy for it to not start out this whole crazy, I feel so amazing, I'm just like obsessed with you, and for it to be like, okay, like I'm interested, but maybe not sure,
Yeah.
and then through time, as you give it time, if you give it time, if you're willing to see that person through time, you can really see like, wow, there was so much gold here that I was almost willing to overlook
Wow. Yeah.
based on judgments.
Wow.
And like the Lord's intentional to give y'all that story because y'all are helping so many people in dating.
Yeah.
And like it gives a lot of people hope because if y'all had the story that you met each other and it was instant fireworks, I don't think y'all's like punch y'all have a more powerful punch because you show what way more couples deal with than the like instant fire. So I think that's really powerful and intentional by the Lord. I want to get into like, this topic is so prevalent, probably the most asked topic that you get, I'm sure. What was it like to just come in to kind of what Kait was already doing of being a dating coach? That feels like a lot of pressure to me. And like, as you kind of step into that, how have y'all stepped into that together? I think it's really cool that y'all do it together. Number two, give me the lay of the land on dating right now. Before we kind of get into intentional questions about it, right now, 2025, what are y'all seeing that can maybe help people that are going, what's the trends right now?
Yeah, so good. Do you want to talk about joining Heart of Dating or what it was like dating a dating coach really quick?
Yeah, dating a dating coach. That was,
I would be shaking.
I mean, honestly, you have to like put it out of sight, out of mind. Like I'm sure when you met Madi, like you just kind of have to put those things out of sight, out of mind. And the second you start talking to them, they're just a girl.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, she had a book, you know, with all of her dating journey, all of her exes, you know, all these stories. And it was just like,
That just came out like the week that we met. It came out, I believe.
right.
Yeah.
So I was so much more concerned and curious about just getting to know her than any other part of her life that had to deal with her book, dating coach, whatever. Because at the end of the day, she's just a human being, you know, with feelings and emotions, just a few of them, you know. And no, I was just so captivated by Kait. I was much more curious about her, you know, off camera, behind the scenes, and just who she was. Like that authentic person. And then the dating coach thing, to be honest, it was kind of out of sight, out of mind. Like I didn't really care. You know, she was dating like one or two other guys at the time, in the sense of we do something called like the friendship challenge or dating challenge, where for 90 days you can date 1 to 3 people, you know, and you're just non-exclusive, and it's a really healthy
Only good
way.
for some personalities. Okay.
Right.
Oh,
Not good
wow.
for the
Yeah,
wanderer.
it's-
Not
I
good for the
I
lone
missed
wolf.
this trend.
Yeah. I know.
Yeah, I
was
think this
I?
has been good for my
Was this
personality.
2018?
Yeah,
What are we
this
talking?
this is from Dr. Cloud, you know.
Wow.
DC
Really?
came out with this.
The big dog.
Yes.
He actually says do it for 6 months.
Yeah.
Goodness
Who's like,
gracious,
he's-
Dr.
He
Dr.
literally
Jones.
spoke to me the beginning of 2021. He's like, you need to do my dating challenge, like based on your history. And I was like, okay, I'll try it. But I was like, I'm only doing it for 3 months. Like I can't do a 6 months of thing. But for me, because I'm a hopeless romantic, I would jump in so fast and commit so quickly, often to the wrong person. So for me, it was a really healthy challenge to, hey, let me just see how someone is over 90 days and really see like the character, and don't fast forward, like don't go on these like 6-hour long dates. You know, so I was really strict with boundaries, like physical stuff, like everything was very strict, so that I could really just measure through time if I really was interested in that person. And honestly, it was so good, because the first month I met a guy and I was just like, you know, privately in my mind, kind of head over heels for this guy. This is a month before JJ came along. But 2 months into talking to this guy, it was so clear that he was not emotionally available, because he had been divorced and he just was not ready yet. And in my old world, I would have just hyper fixated and committed to this guy, maybe even got into a relationship with him, with this person who really wasn't ready. So it just was so great to see how healthy that was for me.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Really cool.
So she was dating 1 or 2 other guys, and you know, that kind of friendship dating challenge. So for me, I was like, you know, that was new for me too, by the way. Just like you, I was like, wait, what? But she told me after the first day, like, hey, I just want to be super transparent. Like, I am talking and dating to other guys, and I appreciated that so much. And more importantly, I was like, at the end of the day, I don't really care if there's 3 or 5 or 100. Like, if this is who God has for me and for her, then bring him on. You know, like, I don't really care. I don't really care
He's
what
like,
she
we're on
does.
The Bachelor right now.
Yeah, exactly.
Boy.
There you go. It was The
I have my
Bachelor.
own bachelor
Yeah.
going on. Okay?
That's so funny.
Kait, the Bachelorette.
Passing
There
out
you
the
go, Kait the
roses.
Bachelorette. So at that point, I just didn't care.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't really think about at least vocationally doing like the ministry together in that sense. Like that wasn't the top of my mind. I wasn't trying to think about us being married together, at least in the beginning. And as we got to know each other more in relationship and then engagement, it was a serious question. And then the day we got married, I quit my job and we started doing it together full time, which I would definitely not recommend like going straight into your first year of marriage and working together with your spouse, like full
was a
time and
lot.
doing everything. We were in like a small 700 square foot apartment with 2 dogs in California. It was just like
Wow.
this, you
What
know.
type of
It
dogs?
was
Golden
Doodles.
Doodle and
Oh my
Bernedoodle
gosh,
were
that
very
was
basic.
not
yeah.
a great season of
Yeah.
our life.
So,
melding all
Anyway,
that together.
Man.
But that
That's a
aside, doing ministry together is so sharpening. I love it. I have such a burden. Like my heart breaks for single men, like 20 to 40 years old, who are just so stuck, like purposeless, addicted to anything and everything, and just kind of floating through life. So I love what we do together, because I specifically get to speak to men and challenge men,
Yeah.
which is definitely one of the big things affecting the 2025 dating scene.
Yeah, let's talk
Yeah.
about quick dating scene. I would say biggest trends would be amidst women, you know, the idea that there's no good Christian guys left. And statistically, there's like a little bit of truth to that. It's not actually true. Okay. It's not actually true that there's no Christian guys left. That's like impossible. There are billions of people in the world, right? But statistically, there are less Christian men in the church right now and less Christian single men in the church right now than there are women. So I do have to acknowledge that fact for women who are saying like, where are all the guys in my church? that is a trend at the moment, which our heart breaks for. And JJ really, really loves speaking to those single men and getting them back into church communities. But at the same time, I like to say to the women, like, if you're only focusing on that, then it will never become better, right? If you're focused on lack, you'll only see lack. And for these women, I'm like, hey, complaining about it will never do good. What we need to do is we need to encourage and we need to pray for these men. That's what we need to do, because no one ever came back to change or started changing because you criticized them into change. Nobody ever wanted to be different because you shamed them into that. Or complained them into it. They do it because they've been prayed for and they've been encouraged into it, right? And so I think there is a big issue amidst women right now, especially as they get older and older, of like, let's just complain about how men suck so badly. And I just have such a heart to say, don't do that. Don't do it in front of men, but also don't do it behind closed doors, because you're just perpetuating this environment of making them not come to church, making them not rise up and pursue you. So I would say that's a huge trend in dating right now. What about you, JJ?
It's really good.
Oh man, I mean, we're more single than ever before in the church and in the U.S. and in the world. Like the majority of U.S. adults are single, and then about 30 to 40% of the church is single now, which is crazy.
That is
like
crazy.
the church has never been as single as it is today. So it's like a huge challenge. I'd say the second issue, I don't know. There's a lot. I obsess over this. I think the second biggest one is probably, I think we're pickier than ever before. And I think that culturally, like, marriage has just been less appealing than it ever has been before. I'd say those are probably like the second and third reasons. We're pickier than ever before on both sides. And culturally, it's just kind of like blended into the church. Like marriage just does not have a ton to offer in some ways.
I would love for y'all to talk about the pickier than ever, because I think that's really big. What is picky versus what is intentional? What is that's shallow versus this really matters. Because there were things in Madi that really mattered to me, and other people would say, hey, what about her? And just to be honest, something in my heart did not get excited. They were godly. They were in the church, but I think people wrestle with, is this an ungodly desire? Is this okay? Talk to us about kind of the difference between picky and this is intentional.
Well, do you guys believe in the one?
No.
Okay. Do you?
No, I don't.
Yeah.
I believe in God's best, which might be another way of kind of saying that.
But well, unpack that, because I go back and forth. Like, God's omnipotent. Meaning he knows who you're going to marry. But how would you define God's best versus the one?
I think all of our answers are going to be based off of our experiences. And so for me, I dated someone for 4 years who was an incredible guy, loved God. But at the end of the day, right when it was time for us to make that decision of, are we going to get married or are we going to end this relationship? I just didn't have peace about it, and felt like our specific callings just didn't fully align.
Yeah, that's big.
And so for me, it was a matter of peace and purpose. I was just like, I don't have full peace, and I don't feel like our purpose fully aligns. But all of the other things, the convictions are there, the values are there, the interest is there, the compatibility is there. So it was just a matter of like the peace. And so that's where I kind of am like, well, I could have made that work. We could have gotten married. And I do think God would have been all I knew. But then I'm like, okay, I didn't feel in my heart full peace, and I just kept being like, I don't feel full peace. And then now, and being married to Grant, like as soon as I met him, it was like I had so much peace, and even through walking through really, really hard things, it was like I have so much peace, and I feel like our purpose aligns. And now I'm being married, I'm like, oh, praise God. Hey friends, stop what you're doing, because this is important. I wanna tell you guys about a skincare brand that I love called Nimi Skincare. Their new tallow line just launched and sold out in under 3 hours, but good news is it's finally back in stock for now. Now about this tallow line, it's made with one of the most nourishing ingredients that you can put on your skin. Tallow is rich in vitamins A, D, E, and K, and closely mirrors the natural makeup of our skin, helping hydrate, repair, and protect. Nimi offers 2 products in this line: Sunshine Tallow Cream, a whipped lightweight moisturizer for daily use, and Buzzin Tallow Balm, a rich balm that deeply hydrates,
perfect for nighttime or dry spots. If you're ready to support a brand that aligns with your faith and blesses your skin in the process, go to nimiskincare.com. That's Nimi skincare.com. Use the code Maddie10 for 10% off your order. Again, that's Maddie10 for 10% off at nimiskincare.com. With Nimi, you're not just caring for your skin, you're choosing truth, beauty, and purpose.
The purpose is a huge part.
Yeah.
Like, I think a lot of people don't understand. You know, Riley and Jack at their wedding, friends of ours.
Yeah.
I love that one of them said this in their vows. They said 1 + 1 = 3, which is the idea that together you're greater for the kingdom than apart. And I do think that's a very big lost, not just art, but like perspective when it comes to dating, Christian dating, because it needs to be 1 + 1 = 3.
Right.
Like, purpose needs to be aligned. Not that saying they have to be the exact same, you know, but they have to complement in some regards. Like JJ, when we were dating, I didn't see or ask him to be a part of Heart of Dating. I wasn't like, hey, if you're going to be with me, you have to be a part of this. But I love that his heart was like, I love Christian single men and I can come alongside and support you. And eventually that became him being a part of it. But it wasn't like this non-negotiable that he had to join it.
Right.
But his heart was like for singles as well. And he could totally see coming alongside of me in this mission, even if it was behind the scenes. And I think just having that purpose aligned is just such a big deal. And we don't often look at that. Anyway, that's a segue that I think is just important.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, picky versus intentional, I think is huge because I think so often we can be unrealistic in our expectations, but then it's like high standards. There's just a difference. It's like, how do you know what's like high godly standards? Like, this is what God has called me to, therefore I should not settle for less.
Yeah.
But then also, what is unrealistic and worldly? Like, what has just become a worldly expectation that, if I'm being really, really honest, like this is not necessarily like what the Bible is saying.
Totally.
I'm
Sure.
just, saying I'm waiting for the one in God's best, but really it's just a worldly expectation.
I think the biggest one there is attraction. I think we fixate on attraction, and that's where the standards get really messy. That's where picky comes into play.
Totally.
I think the most with attraction.
Yep.
Because actually JJ and I have like a little bit maybe of a controversial view on this. And maybe it's also to do a big part of our story because I wasn't that physically into him at first. Not that I thought he was unattractive. People and sometimes the internet thinks I'm saying that he's ugly. I've never said that.
I'm just an ugly duck. You know.
So he's not ugly. Obviously, we can see that, right? It's like, okay. But for me, I was really hung up on, I guess let's use the millennial or Gen Z term of the ick. Okay. I kind of had the ick, if we're being honest, with the hair, the style. It was just not my vibe. Okay.
This is new to me.
And
No, I'm just kidding.
on our first in-person date, we went to In-N-Out, and the way he ate his burger and licked his fingers, like, you guys, I just had the
JJ.
ick.
My
Okay.
boy was just hungry. He hadn't eaten all day.
That is so out of context. This is my first time having
At In-N-Out.
In-N-Out. Yeah, and look, of
course you didn't know how to eat it.
There's not a nice way to eat it.
They forgot napkins, right?
Yeah, of course.
No, they did not.
And look, there's not a. I'm not gonna eat it with a knife.
He's over
and,
here, like,
you
That'd
picking
know.
up
be
his-
probably more of a red.
Yeah,
If
exactly.
you pulled the knife
yeah.
out.
No, it was not
Anyway.
worse than that.
It was not my
There was
finest
a trash-
moment. Okay.
He got our trash and went to go to the trash can, and it was full. Okay, so he was being a nice Samaritan, but he opened it and then uses his other hand to like shove the trash in, right?
Being a good guy, all
And
right.
but then it's the best part is that he didn't wash his hands or use hand sanitizer
Okay.
or anything. And literally in my mind, I'm like, oh my gosh, I want to gag. You know, thankfully we weren't like holding hands. He didn't like really try to touch me. There was
wouldn't, you know.
no.
He didn't go in for the hair tuck after that.
He's like, hey, sweet
You're
girl.
just so.
And so, but I was like, okay, so I was being superficial, and I love calling myself out about this because
Yeah.
I think that so many people do. Like, it's easier than ever. We're on a dating app making an instant
Yep.
decision
Totally.
based on that first photo that we see, right? And it's like, okay, the girls love this one, but if it's a fish pic, they're like, oh gosh, I can't do it. Swipe left, right?
Is that a thing?
Oh yeah.
The fish pic is a no-go.
It's like fish pics. They're like, why? And I always want to tell the ladies, like, you have to understand a fish picture or a picture with the guy with his deer or whatever is his only good photo because that's the only photo
They
he
don't
gets.
take many photos.
That is him smiling.
We've got
like,
1 out of 10
Yeah.
per year. You
We
know?
That's it.
never ask our buddies
Okay.
to take a photo of us.
When
unless
does
we
it
have
ever get like
TED,
a solo
Holding
shot?
something.
Yeah.
You know, but it's so easy to just judge very quickly on physicality.
right.
Okay.
True.
Height is a big one. Weight, ethnicity. I think we really get hyper fixated on like the specific quote type. And when we're really honest, sometimes the type isn't really about character like it should be. It's much more about physically, am I like into them at the first moment? And where our controversial view comes into play is we use attraction on a scale of like ranking privately, okay, somebody on a scale from 0 to 5 in 5 different buckets, okay? And it's not just physical, it's emotional, it's spiritual, it's intellectual, it's personality, and then it's physical. Because attraction is multifaceted, it's all those different areas. And so when you rank all those areas, you want at least 17 out of 25, okay? If all of them are from 0 to 5, you want at least 17 out of 25, okay? And you want physical to be at least 3 out of 5. All right, at least 3 out of 5. If it's 2 out of 5, it's probably not ever going to work because you're going to not want to kiss them at the end of the day.
Wow.
But
Yeah.
if you have 3 out of 5 and the other areas are pretty strong, like you absolutely can make that work.
Great.
So what we say that is a moderate level of physical attraction. You can make a moderate level of physical attraction work if your other buckets of attraction,
Right.
especially spiritual, especially emotional, are very strong.
Yeah, 100%.
Then you can make it work.
It's why you see those couples that have been together for 40 years say, I'm more attracted to her than I've ever been.
Yes.
Because you've bonded to so much more of her
Yeah.
than her
Yes.
looks.
Yes.
And that's so true. That's
Well, in
so
marriage,
true.
we can agree. It's like that's just such a small portion of what matters
It gets less
when
and less
you're married.
important when the
It's-
baby comes and you're
Right.
sick.
Oh
my
It's
gosh.
like,
And
Right?
isn't it crazy that in dating it's such like the biggest thing, and then you get
sure.
married and it's like, no, I want to know, like, are you thinking about me throughout the day? How are you serving me? How am I
Yes.
serving you? Like,
Yeah.
how are we suffering well together?
Yes.
Are we like
yeah, it's great.
living our life in a way that actually matters and creating significance?
Right, but so here's the big thing though, because JP, I love his dating advice. Find the godliest person you know.
no, I disagree with this though.
Date
Yeah.
them and marry.
I
Okay,
told him I disagree
We
with this.
disagree too.
I am too. Yes.
Take it to the man. Oh no.
No, I love JP.
So no, but look, it's great advice. This is great advice too. But the big question is, how do we actually though get it to be received
Yeah.
and instilled into someone who's single and says, "Oh yeah, that's
Totally.
nice," but then we go out and operate like we never heard it.
Yeah.
Right. So like that's what we're kind of obsessed with is like, how can we actually get this message through?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That the physical attraction thing, it's important, but it's not the most important.
Yeah.
And what we've definitely found is by that 0 to 5 scale is actually really helpful because instead we, especially as guys, we kind of default to like 0 or 1. It's like very binary,
Like
yes
hot
or no.
or not scale.
For sure.
Yeah.
And then we go from there hoping that the character, hoping that emotionally, like we hope that all these other things are in place. 0 to 5 gives so much more flexibility that moderate attraction is more than good enough. Like that's what all the brain science says. Moderate attraction is more than good enough. And then my favorite thing about attraction though is this. I still remember dating, quote, the most beautiful girls I've dated. Kate's obviously the most beautiful.
There you go.
But for some of them,
Obviously.
like you date and then after a month of getting to know them, it was so crazy to me that when their character came out, spiritually, emotionally, I did not want to even be in the same room with. I was so physically
Right.
unattracted to
Right.
someone
Yeah.
who I was so obsessed with a
Yes.
month ago. And the opposite was true. My favorite, attraction, at least in the sense of what I really admire and love for men is think about that girl when you walked in the room who maybe you weren't like the most obsessed with, fantasizing about, checking her Instagram after, like, so gung-hung for her. But guess what? A year later, you're like all of a sudden, oh wow, like she is really beautiful. Like she is so selfless.
Yeah.
She is so kind. And all of a sudden you physically are way more attracted to her than ever before.
Yeah.
And that's the kind of attraction that we want people to build over time.
Yeah, that's
Right. 3 months, we say this, spiritual character shines over time. 3 months, you really get to see someone's character start to shine and come through those cracks,
Yeah.
emotionally and spiritually. And that's what I want people to be attracted of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I want
great.
you to be attracted to their godliness,
Yeah.
So good.
to the Jesus in them. And
Yeah.
that's what excited me about Kate, was the Jesus image in her. And that spiritual attraction, if it's 4 and 5, I think a lot of the rest can follow.
That's so good.
we don't often give love a chance to grow in that sense. But you guys know that in marriage too. You know, it's like the physical attraction comes and goes. I was most physically attracted, I kid you not, to Kait after childbirth. You know, like honeymoon, first year of marriage, after
when
childbirth.
I feel my ugliest.
She felt her
You're like,
ugliest.
I'm just out here in a diaper. Like, I don't know.
I was changing 2 sets of diapers, Kate's
Wow.
and our baby.
It's a
And I
wild-
kid you not, I was
is wild.
more physically
Yeah,
attracted
man.
to my wife
'Cause
after
it's
that.
godly. It's
Yeah.
God's
Mhm.
way.
She put her body on the line,
Yes.
sacrificed the motherly image, her spirit.
Yeah.
I was just and I still am, but that I was more physically attracted to Kait at that time. Now after everything than ever before, and that's really through that journey of just seeing their spirit, seeing their heart, seeing their godliness. Man, that is what lights me up as a
Beautiful.
man. Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's say the listener is in the 3 to 5,
Yeah.
3, 4, 5 attractiveness. What are some other things? Give me like the godly biblical to the Christian that's going, what am I looking for? What's a necessity versus what's like, I just need to drop
Yeah.
that.
What should I be looking for?
What am I looking for?
Yeah. You want to? Okay.
I'm curious. I'm like, I want to hear your number. I want to hear your guys' number one too, because
Yeah.
the opposite of these is a red flag, right? So your number one green flag, you know, best thing is if they have the opposite of that, right? Then it's like a runaway.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
I think no matter what, I think the prerequisite for every person, I think, should be teachability. This should be the number one thing you look for in any person. It leads to humility, and it leads to being willing to change and get help and grow, right? Because you need that. Oh my goodness. Once you're in relationship and once you get married, like you guys know, it's sanctifying, and you realize, man, like I led this awesome life solo, and now I'm having to combine that, and it's revealing so much about myself that is painful, and so many of these things that I just really need help with. And if you don't have a teachable spirit, which really looks like, am I learning and growing in my life currently? Do I have people that speak into my life and keep me accountable? I think like a second tertiary thing to teachability is, do you have a mentor or godly people that speak into your life? Like really godly people. I'm not just talking about like fun friends. Like you might have some fun church friends. I'm really talking about those people that know you and know where you're messing up. You know, in my singleness, I had a girl that every single week we started this little discipleship just between her and I. And one of the things we did weekly was confession. And we kept each other accountable each and every week.
So good.
And, you know, when I didn't bring things up, she'd be like, hey, you haven't brought this up for a while. Like, what's going on in this area? And I'd be like, dang it. Like,
Those are the friends we need right
yeah.
there.
Amen.
You know, and that's what I would look for in somebody, teachability. And within that, do they have a level of accountability and people that have authority, godly authority to speak into their life?
So good.
I mean, there is a lot of lack of that, you guys.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Like huge lack of just people having fun church friends, but that's not enough.
Totally.
It needs to be people that have some sort of authority in your life that can speak
So
into your
good.
life.
Yeah.
Good.
That's really good, man. I love that. I think that's one of the biggest questions, that it's like, how do you know what to look for? And I think that keeps you from settling. And I also think that gives you a good mindset to not overfixate on the wrong things and to create all these unhealthy expectations and standards. Because I think for me, it was just like a spirit of conviction. Like, of course, like a man of conviction who follows Jesus, but also just like a man who is convicted over like little things. Like if he, you know, I don't know, like how he's talking to like the waitress, or, you know,
that's
it's
good.
just like, how does he treat the people around him? What really, really matters to him? Like what gets him passionate? What is he passionate about? And so I think that I've seen grow even more in our marriage is just like, he's so sensitive to the Holy Spirit and just like very convicted over even things that other people would say is like, oh, it's not that big of a deal. And it's like, no, this matters. Like, and I'm gonna treat this with the right respect. And so I would say that's huge. I'd love to move into like some now talking about red flags and what are the things that, like, what would you guys say are things that you should look out for that would hinder you in the right kind of relationship, or some toxic tendencies that could keep you stuck in the wrong relationship?
Do you want to explain red flags versus deal breakers?
Yeah.
Because red flags is definitely probably the most misunderstood thing,
Oh,
as
yeah.
common as it is.
Because to me, red is like,
Right.
that feels like it's helpful to hear deal breaker is a different
Yeah.
category.
Yeah.
Yes.
But the problem is this: we all have red flags,
Right.
Yeah.
Because you're a human being.
Yeah.
That's good to say
Right.
that again.
So you would say
So-
yellow flags.
Yeah. What is
Yeah, if we can get
So,
into the
okay,
Beige
let's.
flags.
that orange flag?
Give
is a
me an
little-
example of like 3 months at the altar.
Yes. So, well, red flag, we actually say it's a stop sign. It's a stop sign to, like the color red, to find out more information.
Yeah, that's good.
I wouldn't say it's a U-turn. Okay, U-turn is run, Forrest, run. Like, let me just turn around
That's
and
a
go the
deal.
other
That's
way.
a deal breaker.
For me, that's a deal breaker, and that's like they're not a Christian. They don't want kids and you want kids. They're a smoker and you're a non-smoker.
Yeah.
Okay, they have an addiction in their life,
Like
an
habitual
active
habitual sin's a big
sin
one.
or addiction.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd love to talk about that.
Yes. Yeah.
Habitual sin, unrepentant versus repentant.
Right.
Confessing versus hiding.
Yeah.
'Cause
Yeah.
that even is some stuff like, hey, my boyfriend is struggling with porn. Is this a U-turn? Or he's really repentant and he has a mentor. You know, even that is the nitty-gritty stuff that's
And it's
Oh,
and
yeah.
that needs to be talked about.
Yeah.
Like we can even jump into the porn one because
Right.
it's so prevalent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Porn and masturbation. I mean, they go hand in hand. That heart of why they want to stop. First of all, do they want to stop?
Yeah.
Like, did you have to bring this up or did they bring it
did you
up?
catch all that?
Right. You know, and that's a really important moment.
Totally.
And then two, like their heart, you know, like one of my favorite verses, godly repentance leads to sorrow,
Yes.
but worldly repentance leads to sin. It's one of the most important verses in the fundamentals of our Christian faith, how we repent and why. Godly sorrow means you understand why this is sin, how it impacts other people and yourself, and your motivation to change is to appease and glorify God.
Yeah.
Worldly sorrow is anything other than that. I want to keep this relationship. I want to have a good image so people don't think poorly of me. I want to control this so, you know, I can have self-control and feel good about myself. So in dating, if there's like that habitual sin, whether it's, you know, pornography, you know, drinking, substance abuse, I would even say gambling. Like that's a really common one with with guys these days. There's not a lot of
Gaming, I would say, is another
gaming.
big one.
Yeah. There's not a lot of clear scriptures, right? So we have to pull out scripture and extend it. And you know, when we have slaves over us other than Christ, that is a territory that there's no tolerance.
Yeah.
Like we have to love holiness more than we have to love casualness, you know? And that for me, that was a huge part of my story. Every corner of my life needs to have the same degree of holiness to glorify God. And the second I left one little corner untouched, I think that for me was a stronghold of sin and pride to just kind of abide and flow. So, you know, for the porn one, I would just say, look, like if they are wanting to do it for the right reasons, like to heal and grow, we all know what that godly repentance looks like, you know, and then they actively go out and then just wait and see. That's the one thing that we hate is we just have to wait and see, do their actions align with their words? And that's a huge red flag, deal breaker in general. Do their actions align with their words? Meaning like this, put their words on mute over 3 months and just look at the actions,
Yeah.
right?
So true.
Show me
Great.
their Friday night.
Yeah.
Show me their Saturday night. Those are the actions I really want to look at,
Yeah.
you know, and that's where you get into that kind of like deal breaker, red flag. But red flag for sure. I mean, Kate loves using this example. I think it's so good. If you're getting married and it's been 6 months, a year, and I ask you, hey, what red flags do they have? And you look at me and you say, none. They're just amazing. I'm telling you, do not get married because you have like no idea what you're signing up for. Like, like they are a human being. I promise you, they're not perfect, and you're gonna find out real soon. And when you go into marriage with that kind of unrealistic expectation, you don't really know them, and that's okay in the sense of I think you should know what your red flags are.
Yeah.
Right, going into singleness,
Like,
going into
what
dating.
are you working on?
Right.
Because that's going to be a red flag, right? So the red flag is a stop sign. It's like,
Yeah.
hey, pause and find out more information. That's how we define it. Everyone defines it different than a deal breaker.
And the
Yeah.
find out more information, is that a go back to my girls or my guys, or is that a hey, I see this in you?
Both.
It's both, but
Yeah.
it is addressing it to that person.
Addressing it to that person.
So you're going to get curious. You have to do it with a non-judgmental spirit
Yeah.
because there's a very big reality that maybe you don't know all the information. And maybe they said something or you're noticing something, but you could be misreading it. You know, a lot of the stories we make up in our minds are not fully true, right? They're like 80% false. And so we have to go in with that curiosity mindset and asking questions without judgment. Because if we set them up for failure, they're going to fail. Like if we go in judging them, they're going to feel judged. They're going to be defensive.
Yeah.
They're going to like probably respond poorly. So you want to get really kind and curious
that's great.
about it. So that's the first step with the red flag. A second step is you watch how they respond. That
Totally.
tells you so much. Okay. Like if they are immediately on the defense and they're like, what are you talking about? Like I don't have that problem. That is your deal breaker.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
is like,
Wow.
obviously, okay, they don't even recognize this is an issue. And that's a big problem.
Yeah, they minimize, they blame, they deflect.
Yeah.
Because you guys know this, that what she just described is marriage
Right.
times
Yeah.
a million
All the time.
for the rest of your life. And
Yes.
think about, I kid you not, I could not think of a more miserable marriage than someone who's so arrogant and so prideful to admit that they're never wrong or
Yeah.
can't admit that they're wrong
100%.
Yes.
and can't grow and change.
Right.
Right.
Totally.
So your dating journey, the number one thing you should look for is how they handle feedback in the moment, right? Do they take ownership?
Mm-hmm.
And then the actions that follow.
That's great.
Because that is like your life on loop
Yeah,
for the
that's
rest of
good.
your
Yeah.
life, right? So that's the teachability, the teachability, the humility, and then versus the red flag. I would say it's probably deal breaker, pride and arrogance. Like you were talking about something that God doesn't just oppose, but he hates.
Yeah.
He hates
Yeah.
pride.
Totally.
And it is the destroyer of relationship between us and
Yeah.
God, us and other humans.
And would you guys say, like, if you saw a red flag, if you're dating, you see a red flag in JJ, would you have the conversation, bring it up, and then give grace in that moment, and then watch the actions that follow?
Yes,
Is that the process that you would encourage?
Yeah. So step one, get curious with non-judgment and ask them kind questions about it. It's really important how you approach it. Step two is watch how they respond, because there is an opportunity that they're like, this is something that I know I have an issue with and I'm actively working on it.
Yeah.
And thank
That's
you
good.
for calling it out
That's so good.
because
Yeah.
this is an issue that I have.
We had such a big red flag in me early on with shutting down
Yes.
and spiraling and she called it out. And it was my opportunity to go, I'm really struggling with this right now.
Yes.
And I don't like it about myself, but I know it about myself.
And honestly, his humility in that moment drew me closer
It's
to
like
him.
you can work
Amen.
with
That's
you
a-
can work
yes,
with
you can
that.
work with
You
that.
can work with that for the rest of
yeah.
your life.
Yeah.
Oh,
Like, had he
100%.
responded and been like, "Who are you to call me out? I see this," and like all these things.
Exactly,
It's like
deflect.
that would have been like,
Yeah.
whoa, whoa, I'm trying to help you help us,
Yeah.
because I see God's hand on your life, and He's done the same for me, and so. I think that's so huge. Okay, we're wrapping up. I have a few quick
Yes.
questions that people
Okay,
are curious
we'll go
about,
fast.
and so we'll
Yes.
do quick answers.
Where are you at? Are you in red flag questions?
Or
Or are you lower?
I'm above. I feel like we did good
Okay.
on red flags. Okay. Can the girl make the first move, or do guys like the ability to pursue, and is that what's most important?
Okay, girls can show interest, but I don't believe in girls asking a guy out. But I do believe they need to drop the hanky. Guys are oblivious. They don't know you're interested. You can smile all day long at them and they have no idea. 80%
True.
of guys are just waiting for a big open door.
Yep.
80% of guys.
That's true.
So you need to show them very clearly you're interested. My favorite way to do it is send a birdie, AKA a wing woman. Okay. You have a wing woman, go
Nice.
over to the guy.
Drop some
and
hints.
Drop hints.
Yeah.
And basically tell him I feel like you guys could totally hit it off on a date. And I know that she would say yes if you asked her out. And if your wing woman does that, he
I
will be
mean-
like, oh, the door is open.
Yeah.
This is like
Yeah.
an opportunity.
It clicks for us at that
I mean,
point.
Yes.
seriously,
That's
if
good.
the
I
guy's
agree with
interested,
that
he
exact.
will.
Yes.
Yeah.
Follow up on
now,
that.
Now, what's the opposite? Like that feels very healthy to me.
Yeah.
What's something of trying to get his attention that you would say, hey, I wouldn't do that?
Good
Straight up,
question.
I wouldn't ever ask a guy out. I
Yep.
just wouldn't. I wouldn't do that. I do believe in the old fashioned men are meant to pursue a woman, and I think that's innate in their desire to go first and lead in that area. But I do think just overall, what I see in a lot of women is a lot of proving energy, a lot of pick me energy of like, pick me, choose me. I'm the girl, and they're just like, hey, I'm amazing. And they're always trying to just like wave their hands in front of his face, proving to him that they're the most amazing thing on this earth. So there is that balance of you do want to get in his proximity, but you don't want and you know it if it's in your head. If you're trying to get him to like you so bad, that's how you know you're improving energy. And that's where it gets bad, because guys will they will sniff out the desperate energy like no other. And they're like, oh, something about that does not feel like I want to go there.
Totally.
You know?
It's helpful. It's really helpful.
Okay. Okay, two more. Is it okay to pray together when you're dating? What are some spiritual boundaries?
So funny. Kate and I kind of disagree on this one.
Really?
Yeah.
Love that.
We have
I'm
a couple.
interested. I
Are
think
you
we're
about
on
the
same-
devos
We
and
have
dating?
a couple things that we disagree about, and this is one of them.
See,
Did you take her through
dating.
Romans on the first couple days?
So funny. No, I didn't. I wish I would have. She needed it. No, I'm just kidding. Do you want to go first? You go
No,
first.
you go.
Okay. I personally think that we've gotten maybe a little overcomplicated or a little overreaching here. Anytime we operate out of like a fear of or anti, we kind of lose the heart and the goodness of it. So spiritually, there's 3 boundaries: physical boundaries, right? And then I think spiritual and emotional boundaries. And what happens as Christians is we don't get physically naked, but spiritually and emotionally, we get real naked real fast. Okay. So out of a precaution or boundary, we put up, fences and rules and boundaries so that we don't go too deep too fast in an appropriate amount of time with a partner. Spiritually and emotionally, it's the same kind of thing. We need to be really wise with how deep we go. Think about like an onion and the layers. This is a stranger a lot of times. You have no background, no information on them. You don't know if they're safe or not. So, there's just the one caveat of just be wise and discerning. And I think if you have the Holy Spirit within you, I think you have wisdom. So trust that.
Yeah.
But if you have accountability partners, if you have people pouring into your life, if you have all that, you're not coming to them out of a place of, oh, I need you as a spiritual whatever, right? You're good.
Yeah.
Do you want that with them? Sure. Do you desire that with them? Sure. But let that come through time. Talk about God in a healthy way. I think like co-ed level, small group, you talk about God in a relationship. I think that's healthy. Whatever level, 3 out of 10, 4 out of 10. That's a really good place to stay. And then when you're obviously in a relationship and thinking about getting married, I hope you do, talk about God a lot.
Right.
I hope you do spiritually really get to know each other really well. So I just think initially in that first 90 days, it will come. There's no need to get emotionally, spiritually, physically, naked, reserve that for as you get to know each other more. So praying together, pray together as individuals, but not as one. That's a really helpful way to think about it. Pray together as individuals. If you really want, again, do you really need to have a prayer meeting with them, on like your second date? I don't know. I think you're just trying to get to know them and go from A to B, B to C, not A to Z, right off the get-go.
Yeah.
I think that's big though, that not praying together as one unit.
Yeah.
Because you guys aren't a unit until you're in covenant. So I think that would be the biggest distinction is we're not a unit. Okay, we are together going to like be this unit that are going to pray for this person.
Right.
But like maybe I am going to pray over him because he's dealing with something, or he might pray over me. But like we're not this couple that we're like, okay, we have this authority together to pray for somebody or for this thing.
And I would say that the last, I just can't help but say it. My fear and my heart breaks when people use spiritual practice like reading the Bible to bond as a way to get to know each other. So it's like almost not really genuinely about the Bible. It's not really about the Devo. It's not really about God. It's actually you just using a tool to get closer to them, to get to know their heart. And that's where I really get, upset or sad,
Totally.
So.
Yeah, you have to be so careful, I feel like, in those, when we're talking about spiritual boundaries, because I think we put so much emphasis on the physical in the church and in, Christian conversations, but that spiritual boundary is so important. Even Grant and I we've talked about on this podcast, but we had a FaceTime date. He was in Missouri and I was in Dallas. And we were having a FaceTime date and just spent like a long time on the FaceTime just like praying and like almost crossing that boundary of like, this is what we're supposed to be doing when we're married, but just like really praying and interceding for each other. And after we got off the call, we were like more tempted than we had ever been individually.
Yeah.
And it was just like, man, this is not, this is supposed to be reserved for marriage. But now one of the most beautiful aspects of our marriage is there's such a deep spiritual bond and union that's healthy. And we pray together all the time married. And I feel so safe in that and secure in that and covered in that. And when you do it in dating, you can't feel that same safety and security because you don't know if that's going to be your forever person.
Right.
But
Yeah.
when
There's
you
no
do
covenant.
it under the covering of marriage, just like sex and sexual acts, it's like it's safe. You know you're going to be
Yes.
in the long run with this person, and it just creates that union that we're
Amen.
talking about.
Yes.
It's really good.
So good,
It's
Maddie.
great.
Man, this was really fun. This is really
You
good.
guys are
Helpful.
amazing.
This is helpful.
This
It's
was
gonna
really
help a lot
helpful.
of
I
people.
learned a lot.
Me too.
I mean, I feel like I've been out of the dating scene, and I'm
Yeah.
like, I learned so much from you
I'm
guys.
like
That's so
deal
good.
breaker versus red
I
flag. So
know.
I'm about to go
I'm
right
like,
on
man,
that.
I gotta cross some things out of my book.
Yeah. Dude, so
No,
good.
this
Thank y'all
was
for
so
coming.
good. Yeah, thank you guys for coming on Stay True Podcast.
Guys, this is so fun.
So
Thanks for
good.
having
It was
us.
so
So
fun.
good.
Love you guys.
Yeah.
Well, guys, as always, be sure to stay you and stay true. We love you.